Rodgers had the worst QBR and the worst completion percentage of anyone. The only starter to throw for less was Ryan Fitzpatrick, who didn't even come close to finishing the game because of a serious injury. So it was that kind of awful. And I want to be clear. Well, let's just start with this. Swagoo, we haven't had a chance to get your big picture take on it. All of the nonsense that took place during this offseason, was that part of the issue on Sunday?
If you're paying attention to life, you better say yes, okay? Listen, this is one of the situations where everybody's going to give him a pass because Aaron Rodgers is great. Nobody on this set thinks that Aaron Rodgers is not great. One of the top 5 quarterbacks to ever play, be a Hall of Famer. He's in the conversation, obviously. But when you look at how a team is formed and how a team is built, and you got 3 former professional football players, we don't love practice, but we know it's a necessity, okay? When a player tells you he loves practice, he lying. Or,
That's right.
or he don't play that much on Sunday. That's one or two things happens when players tell you that. But the bottom line is, man, when you have the unquestioned leader of your football team with all of these things going on around him, and you show up week 1 with not a lot of work, all right? Everybody gonna say, well, he showed up for training camp and they had practices. These things take a lot of time to develop. You don't just show up in the NFL and play good football. I know everybody thinks it. I know everybody think that because you Aaron Rodgers or you Tom Brady or you Patrick Mahomes or whoever, you just show up and you ball out. No, continuity takes place. Bakhtiari was out. They played a team that was hungry. They played a team that wanted to show and highlight that Jameis Winston was the guy going forward. The Green Bay Packers offseason absolutely affected week 1. Now, here's my thing. How long does this go on? Because if it goes on too long, you might find yourself out of the playoffs with 6-7 games left. And we all know how that's going to turn out. It's going to be the greatest thing for us because we're going to be able to talk about it. But it's not going to be good for this organization.
Talk, please?
My bad. Go ahead. I was having fun.
They get the Lions this week, and the Packers, look, they have the best thing they have going for them at this particular moment is that the division, I think we all think, stinks. But I think Swagoo brings up the biggest point, that if this thing starts to get sideways, the one thing that we wondered about, with everyone knowing that Aaron is going his own way next year, is does it start to splinter?
Yeah, I mean, I think the offseason point is an important one, but I don't think that this season falls apart because Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. He's going to come out there and they're going to put something together. The division, they're going to get in the playoffs, but we'll see what happens when they get there. And I do think that every year it's a new team, and that's what you have to understand. Is you don't get to bring any of your skills from last year or any of your plays from last year. You can bring them over, but you have to start over and understand that the roster is new and there's turnover.
I think you're talking about like a hypothetical, though, where it does go bad. And he's sitting there like 4-7, and all of a sudden he's like, well, this last dance thing isn't happening. So what happens then? Does he check out? Like, what goes on if that happens?
And do they consider it? At that point, are they thinking, well, we know he's leaving. We got to get this Jordan Love guy ready to play. And I'm not even necessarily thinking trade deadline. I hadn't thought of it till you just said it. But I am thinking, do they at some point start playing Jordan Love? Now, this is all obviously insanely premature. I get it.
Very.
But, okay.
Very. Listen,
you tell us what you're worried about.
If you're going to worry about the Packers, the last guy to worry about is 12. He is a competitive son of a gun. He's going to come back and he's going to get his game right. Their issue was Lattimore locked down Adams, locked them down. Their their offensive and defensive line got rolled. And so you have two. Lindsley's gone to the Chargers. Now their old center. Bakhtiari's hurt. Swagoo talked about that. But when you look at this football team, the development of it, they let go of their defensive coordinator last year. They were a top 10 defense. Now they're trying something new. They got to get a lot of pieces and parts fixed in a hurry. The best thing is the division they're in. The biggest problem is not do they make the playoffs, it's can they win a Super Bowl? And right now you would say no until the development of those other parts, not the Aaron Rodgers part. They got to get the rest of it fixed to win a Super Bowl. And that's all that matters. It's the last dance. Nobody cares if you make the playoffs. You got to win the Super Bowl to make this thing work.
Yeah, again, they play Monday night against the Lions, and what shapes up with the Lions probably had the best performance of any team in the division in Week 1 with that comeback against San Francisco.
The NFC is better.
It's a bad. Say it again.
The NFC is better than it was last year too.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.